Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. What is going on, pile 1? Welcome back. If you are new to my channel, what is up? My name is Michelle. We are doing another pick a card love reading, tapping in and channeling through your person's true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to you and their connection with you. All right, so just keep in mind it is a collective general love reading, so whatever resonates, you can do whatever you want with it. Claim it if it's something you're wanting to claim. Okay, if something isn't quite resonating or it's not landing, just drop that bit of information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it is resonating with. All right, I do have personal readings available. If you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection, just check the description box below. All the booking details are there. I have many readings in the specific person category available, and a lot of them are just $25. So go see which ones fit your guys' needs. All right, so pile 1, you guys were drawn to the, what is that, Rhodonite? Very heavy stone. Let's see, their overall energy. Ooh, love and compassion. And as you can see on this card, so this is their overall energy towards you guys. Now, for some of you, if you are separated or you're not currently talking to your person, this is kind of like, this is an energy that they're in. I'm not saying this is something they're going to do, but there is kind of like a desire coming through where your person's concerned, like they have a desire to want to reach out, to want to talk to you, specifically to want to connect with you through like the heart chakra. Okay, so that, in other words, this isn't, your person is desiring to either connect with you and or reconnect with you, but it's not coming from a superficial place. Okay, yeah, let's see what their overall focus is when it comes to you and the connection. We got freedom, and we'll see what freedom in what regard. For some of you, it could be your person is wanting to feel free to be with you. Maybe for some reason they're feeling restricted, or they feel that they don't have the ability to be with you right now for whatever reason. This could also be talking about, you know, for those of you where you're not in separation with your person and there isn't like any kind of, you know, interfering energies or third parties involved. It's just, you know, your person, you know, feeling free. Like maybe something within this connection makes your person feel like they've been able to open up their heart space to you and to this connection, maybe in ways that they maybe haven't been able to before, or haven't been able to in a long time. There's also a message coming through pile one, like there is a specific message wanting to come through that your person is wanting to share with you directly, okay? But there's almost like with freedom here, wanting to be able to have, what's that word? It's like they don't have the ability to. They want the ability to be able to talk to you. For some of you, I'm hearing them say they want the chance for you to hear them out, or to explain their side of the story, or, you know, something of that nature. Let's see what's going on here. Tell me more about freedom. Pile one's person. This is their focus, what they're focused on when it comes to you in this connection. There's definite love here, okay? But let's see what Page of Swords. Yeah, they're feeling something about communication between the two of you is not going the way your person wants it to go, okay? Or there's something when it comes to communication getting in the way. We have the Page of Swords showing up in the reverse, okay? There could be something about an online space. Maybe there's maybe blocking here specifically, you know, through social media or online, but really it doesn't have to be exclusive to social media or online communication. The Page of Swords in the reverse can just talk about communication overall and in general, okay? The fact that it's showing up in the reverse, there's something going on with communication here. Either there is a block in communication, or it's like your person just doesn't feel like maybe they have the ability to freely speak or express themselves, what it is they're thinking and feeling when it comes to you, okay? For whatever reason, we'll see if it comes out. And so for some of you, where your person is blocked, this is them coming through in the desire to want to be unblocked. You know, there is just an overall energy. This is about as general as I can get it, okay? Where your person is wanting to talk to you. They're wanting to express something to you. The Page of Swords in the reverse, though, can also talk about maybe they might be fearing disappointment. They might be fearing backlash. They might be fearing barriers. There could be some kind of a barrier when it comes to communication. The two of you could have completely two different like love languages. You could be saying one thing, but they're interpreting it in a way that you didn't mean it. It's that kind of an energy, okay? Is there anything else to say about love, compassion here? This is their overall energy towards you and towards the connection for pile one. Love and compassion. Tell me about that, please. I just heard them say they'd rather tell you in person. Yeah, Judgment. And it was funny the way it was going to come out in the reverse, and it kind of hit the table and flipped itself into the upright position. And so this is, let me double check. Tell me more about Judgment. Is it Blackstreet? What is that? I'm hearing the melody, and the words are barely wanting to come through. Before I let you go away, can I get a kiss goodnight or a kiss goodbye or something like that? I don't know if it's Blackstreet. It's an old 90s song. But it's like, before I let you go away, can I get a kiss? I think it's, can I get a kiss goodnight? Okay. This is largely carrying the energy of somebody that hard feelings, but, you know, fearing hard feelings, maybe fearing backlash from you, maybe fearing being held accountable to you for something maybe that they did. Can we just brush it underneath the rug? Can we just let bygones be bygones? It's got that kind of an energy, okay? With the Knight of Swords here and the Eight of Cups in the upright position, it's kind of giving me a push and pull. Your person having conscious desires to want to reach out, but then there's fears and doubts that's stopping it. And so, you know, it's like they got one foot on the gas pedal and one foot on the brake when it comes to you into this connection. The fact of the matter is, though, with the Temperance in the reverse, there's a desire here for your person to want to resurrect things. For some of you with Judgment in the upright position, okay? They could be also fearing judgment from you, or maybe you know, hearing what it is you have to say, or if you've made some kind of a judgment call. There's almost something about your person too being afraid of hearing what it is you have to say. Okay, that page of Swords in the reverse can carry a lot of different meanings. Your person knows that they haven't been balanced. There's things here within your guys' connection that needs healing, mostly when it comes to communication. I just feel like, you know, what's that book? Men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? It's like you guys could be saying the exact same thing, but you're not hearing things. You're not hearing each other clearly. There's something with communication going on between the two of you. Okay. With Judgment in the upright position, though, this is largely letting me know your person is not necessarily wanting things to die between the two of you. They're definitely not wanting communication to fall off when it comes between you guys. Let's find out. Pile 1's person, their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings. Is it Blackstreet? Before I let you walk away, can I get a kiss? Good night. It's wrong key, but whatever. You get the now I got that song in my head. All right, let's see. Pile 1's person. Shutting down. Okay. Pile 1's person. Their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings. I'm going to get 6 out total, you guys. We have... Oh, yeah, see, there's kind of a lot of conflicting energies when it comes to your person, a lot of back and forth. They, you know, they could be confused. There is love here, right? Your person, their heart space is open when it comes to you. You may not even be aware of that, Pile 1. There is kind of an idea here that your person, that you do have your person's heart, okay? There are feelings here. There's definitely love here. Now, to what degree is gonna, you know, change for everybody here, but we have conflicting messages, and it may be, okay, so what we got shutting down. You're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner, and right next to that we aren't right for each other. But the energy and the message coming through in the card that says we aren't right for each other, this feels like bad timing. It doesn't feel like you guys are incompatible, and when it comes to like energy or personalities or maybe even interests. Like you guys may have a lot in common and you guys may just click and you fit together, but there's something about like the right person, wrong time. There could be differences in your guys' lifestyles, or there could be some deal breakers. Like maybe some of you want kids and this person doesn't, or, you know, you're ready for long-term, or one of you's ready for long-term commitment, you know, marriage, engage, moving in together, the other person's not, okay? This is like your person is saying like, you're the right person, right? You're the right person. They're saying you're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner. You check all the boxes, Pile 1, but it feels like the timing is off. It says we aren't right for each other. So we'll figure out what's going on with that, okay? There is a back and forth going on in your person's energy, though. Yeah, and then we have maintaining no contact, okay? So for many of you, you guys are in separation. There is no communication. You're not talking. Some of you might even, you know, either you're blocked and or they're blocked. But this did want to come out in a neutralized position. It's like, yes, it's like they're maintaining no contact almost because that's what they know, you know, especially if you've blocked them. It's like they're respecting, you know, your desire to not want to talk to them. But at the same time, at the other end of this card, it says you'll hear from me soon. They have the desire to want to reach out, okay? I was saying that from the very beginning. The desire for them to want to reach out, touch base with you, you know, catch up is there, okay? They're just not sure what energy they're going to get back from you, okay? Their thoughts and feelings towards pile 1 right now, please. We have, I'm ready. Okay, well, yeah. And that's coming out right underneath. You're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner, okay? Maintaining no contact is coming out underneath shutting down. This is giving me the vibe, pile 1, that your person has it in them. They do have it within them to fight for this connection. Judgment in the upright position that we saw earlier felt like your person, like, you know, almost, they're willing to do what it takes, but what they're not wanting to do is they don't want to whip a dead horse, okay? They don't want to put energy into something. Basically, I feel like it's hinging on you, pile 1. Because what they're saying is they don't want to continue, or they don't, it's like they have a fear of investing in this thing that you have already moved on from. There could be a little bit of saving face in your person's energy too. You know, they're wanting to reach out, but they're afraid to because there's multiple reasons coming through. It's like, you know, yeah, they want to save face. They don't want to be chewed out. They don't want to have their ass handed to them. And at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Let's get one more real quick, and we'll get to, like, really digging in on these. Oh, I trust you. They did have trust issues, though, before. They had trust issues, but you have shown up in a way to this person, pile 1, where consistency, you know, they've been able to see because you look, and then at the bottom of the deck we have, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I gotta see then what this, we aren't right for each other. Again, that just feels like right person, wrong time, right? And that might be where the freedom thing is coming from, you know. They, you know, it's, I don't know if it's, if they're emotionally, if they were emotionally unavailable. I'm almost feeling like a sense of like a shift in energy or a shift in dynamic here. It is interesting to note, we have I trust you right underneath, we aren't right for each other. What's this? We aren't right for each other. Give me a minute, you guys. We aren't right for each other. Pile 1's person. Tell me more about we aren't right for each other in regards to your thoughts and feelings when it comes to pile 1 and your connection with pile 1. Yeah, okay, that's what it is with the 3 of Wands. There's a couple of things coming through with that. It does. It feels like a timing issue. You guys just, something about timing was off here. I don't know if you were with somebody or they were with somebody, or if somebody felt like they just weren't where they weren't in life. They weren't. There's like a specific point in life where they were wanting to be before they saw themselves getting serious, getting married, whatever. And it's like they're not at that space yet. And there's kind of a sense of like waiting, like maybe, you know, later on down the line, maybe, you know, pile 1 and I can come back together. This feels like 2 people that have been in separation or are in separation. There's almost an understanding here, like, okay, let's let this go for now. Let me get my ducks in a row. Let me get my shit together. Let me finish school. Let me, you know, separate from a third party. Something like that. And later on down the line, maybe, you know, mine and pile 1's path can cross or will cross again. There's a desire to want to reach out, to want to reconnect, to want to see what you're up to, but they don't feel like they have the ability to. They feel like they're not just able to do that. Whether you have restricted access to them or just there's something about your guys' circumstance or situation that just, for whatever reason, the nature of it automatically restricts access, restricts communication, okay? Yeah, somebody walked away from this connection and put the brakes on it fairly fast. It could have been you, because I just saw the Empress. For many of you, pile one, it's like, you know, the connection you had with your person just wasn't what you were wanting. It wasn't yielding the results that you wanted. Somebody here, it's not even pump the brakes. Somebody here ended. Somebody walked away from it. And it could have happened suddenly. Tell me more about shutting down. Oh, King of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, they were the ones that shut down. Now, whether or not they were the ones that pulled the plug on this connection, I feel like it was them. Something about their energy, their lack of energy that they were investing into this connection with the King of Wands in the reverse. Because, you know, the court cards in the wand, when they're in the upright position, it's all about action, motivation, inspiration, courage, you know, and stuff like that. But in the reverse position, especially with the Hanged Man right next to it, this is like, literally, I'm shutting down. I'm not making any moves. I'm not putting any energy. I'm picking up energies, pile one, of your person feeling very restless, but it's coming from a space of your person maybe feeling, it could be like a self-confidence issue, a self-esteem issue, whether it's in themselves or whether just overall. But with the Hanged Man here, yeah, that caused this connection to be suspended, or things in this connection just stopped growing, right? There's a little bit of thinking man energy coming through in these two cards with the Hanged Man and the King of Wands in the reverse. Your person may have spent way too much time trying to quote unquote figure things out, but I don't feel like that was coming from a space of like, you know, it wasn't coming from the healthiest space. That could have been more of like an avoidance tactic, right? A stalling tactic. Why though? Tell me more about shutting down. Oh yeah, they were confused. And I was picking up on that energy earlier. They were confused. We have the Seven of Cups, and then we also have the Two of Pentacles, okay? So yeah, there was something about this connection. Again, feels like right person, wrong time. Your person had too much going on. There was too many options. They had a lot on their plate, or they were juggling options, and not all of you, this isn't going to be your person juggling options in terms of like romance. It was this has a lot to do with your person's future and what they were projecting for the future, which is funny because right next to that we do have, you're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner. But it doesn't feel like they were ready for a life partner right at that space. It feels, for many of you, this feels related to their finances. There's something going on with your person's finances that that's where all their energy and their effort and their attention was going, okay? For many of you, you know, your person was either going back to school, going to school, building a business, trying to save, you know, a sinking ship in terms of finances or something like that, okay? Yeah, and then we have the Ten of Swords in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. It's like, it's not, you know, it's not the worst case scenario in this particular case with your guys's relationship, okay? Now again, it's a collective reading, so you guys are going to know whether or not, you know, if it was due to a third party. I'm not necessarily picking up on a commitment phobe here, okay? There again, we have love and compassion. Your person does have feelings for you. They can see you as being a part of their future, but again, it was just, you know, right person, wrong time. Tell me about I'm ready. Ready for what? Yeah. Ten of Wands, okay. This wanted to come up in there. They're not quite ready yet. They have a lot on their plate. Ten of Wands. That's exactly what that is. Now, This is also your person saying, you know, they do understand what's at stake here. They do understand, like, if they were to get into a relationship with you, you know, because again, this is coming up underneath. You're exactly what I'm looking for in a life partner. This is your person saying, you know, I want to put in the work. I know relationships aren't always going to be, you know, rainbows and unicorns and stuff, but I'm willing to take on that task, right? It's worth it. The Ten of Wands is carrying a burden, but it's knowing that the end result of all of that work is, you know, it's going to be worthwhile, right? It's work that is worth doing. That's how your person sees it, okay? And then we got the King of Cups in the upright position at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, there's love here. For many of you, this is established love. For those of you, you know, this is being in love. This is your person having very deep and established feelings for you. But for some reason, they just don't feel like they have the freedom at this point in time to invest in this connection with you, even though for many of you, your person wants to. For many of you, okay? Tell me about I trust you. Your person had trust issues, okay? Could overall just not trust a lot of people, could have a hard time opening up and trusting people, but they do trust you, okay? They may have had issues. It may have taken them a while to trust you, but they do trust you, pile one, okay? Tell me about I trust you. Oh yeah, they know. You're a person of your word. They know that, you know, you're not necessarily, like when you put all your time and attention, they already know. You know, once you've made your choice, once you've made a decision, it's like they know they can trust you. They can trust your word. They know that you're loyal to whatever it is you say you're going to do, right? Absolutely. They felt prioritized, or they feel prioritized with you. They know that they can trust you to be there for them if you say you're going to be. These are things I feel, pile one, like your person doesn't, they don't experience these things with just everybody. And a lot of it is because your person has a hard time even giving people the chance. Like, you know, you don't know if you can trust someone until you put yourself out there, right? Your person is not even putting themselves out there in terms of just, they don't trust people is what it feels like. They have a very difficult time, but somehow, way, shape, or form, pile one, you have proven to them that you are somebody that they can trust, and they do value that very much. I just saw the Devil in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, this is something they have a very difficult time, okay? Lots of love here. We have, you know, with love and compassion, wanting to connect with you more on a, you know, soul level, on a heart-based level, wanting to reach out to you, but they want it to be more than just surface level pleasantries. You know, there's information here or a message coming through, like they want to update you and let you know if they've got good news. They want to tell you about that. For some of you, your person could be going through a very difficult time right now, and they might be actually dealing with like not so good news, and they're wanting to talk to you about that as well. There's just an overall desire here. Your person wants to touch base. They want to catch up. They want to know what you've been up to, you know, and stuff like that. But I'm not necessarily picking up on anything where they're at a point in time where they're actually ready to build, okay? They're still, like, they opened up the main part of the reading with shutting down. They're still in that zone where it's like, when it comes to you and their connection with you, it's like their energy and their attention and their resources are needing to go towards something else, okay? Let's check one more thing, and then we will end your guys' reading. Again, at the bottom of the deck, it says, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. They still think that way. They still feel that way. And that's coming through in an energy like no matter what happens or doesn't happen between the two of you, they are going to think and see things that way. They're going to feel like that. You've changed their perspective about, or perception. You've changed their perception or their perspective about something. They're saying, yeah, because you have shown, it's like you've shown them that there is still good people in the world, that there are still people out there that can be trusted. They were just, I'm just seeing them walk around like prior to you, pile one, just walking around throughout life, just being very closed off, not letting anybody in, not giving anyone really the time of day, only dealing with people on a very surface level, you know, just very surface level, only dealing with people out of necessity, you know, and even maybe friendships they've had are just very surface level. There's, yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, timing's not right. Your person is clocking this too, because we got the Queen of Wands now showing up in the reverse. Remember, we had the King of Wands showing up. You see, your person knows. They weren't able to do justice to this connection. They weren't able to match energy. In fact, it was almost like they could see how they were almost dimming, like how your guys' connection was almost like taking from you and dimming your sparkle or dimming your shine, maybe causing you to maybe question your own like self-worth or self-confidence or something. Maybe taking the way they were showing up or not showing up, like making it mean something personal about you. Like they could kind of see the negative effects that this connection may have had on you personally, right? Again, just timing for your person at least was off here. And they're seeing like it could have been really good. If the timing was right, things could be really good. Because even though timing was off and things weren't perfect between the two of you, there was still definitely some good times here. They saw the potential, what things could be. But reality kept getting in the way, right, pile one? All right, you guys, that was your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would. Smash the like button for me. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you haven't already done so, simply by subscribing. And don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile one, I will see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye, guys. What is going on, pile two? Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading, tapping in and finding out your person's real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to you and their connection with you. So yeah, just keep in mind it's a collective love reading. It's general, so whatever resonates, you can take it or do whatever you want with it. Claim it if it's something you want to claim. If it's not quite landing right or it's not resonating, just drop that bit of information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it's resonating with, okay? I have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. Just check the description box below for all the booking details are there. I have a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25. So go see which ones work for you. Pile two, you guys were drawn to the, let's see, Chrysocolla Malachite stone. Your person's overall energy when it comes to you in the connection, we have river with movement. And then their focus is mystery. They might be laying low right now, or they're not showing their hand. Kind of an energy here of keeping you in the dark or just being very still and very quiet. Like they're not putting all of their hands or all of their cards on the table here. With river and movement, there is kind of a, like taking my hands off of the wheel and seeing where things end up. So your person isn't necessarily, like when it comes to their real thoughts and feelings towards you in this connection, pile two, there isn't really an end goal in mind that your person has. There's almost like they don't know what the destination is. they don't have a lock on a destination when it comes to your guys' connection. It's one of those energies like, I'm just going to take my hands off the wheel and see where things end up. With river and movement, there's a trust that your person has where it's like, you know, where whatever needs to happen is going to happen. Wherever things end up or wherever things land, it's because that's where they were supposed to land. But your person is like, they've taken their hands off of it and they're just kind of letting it just do its thing. It's that kind of an energy. Let me see what's going on with mystery real quick. Yeah. Okay. With the Six of Pentacles and then the Six of Swords, both of these coming up, they're not opposed, okay, to equal give and take. They're not opposed to that. They're not opposed to putting more into the connection, but they're also not opposed to moving on and away from it either. And if you're here kind of looking for an answer to see like which way they're leaning, I mean, yeah, we might be able to pick up on a preference that they have, but it's not like they're not gripping onto or hyper attached to, or they're not hyper attached or hyper adverse to any kind of an outcome when it comes to this connection. Almost like, you know, the path of least resistance with the Ten of Wands in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. Let's find out. Pile 2's person, what is their overall thoughts and or their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings when it comes to Pile 2, please? Pile 2's person, their overall, their real, true, honest, maintaining no contact. Yeah, they're staying very quiet, maintaining no contact, okay? They're not in any energy of forcing anything. They're definitely not wanting, they're saying something like they're not wanting to put their hands or their feet into anything if it feels like it's going against the flow. Your person does not have, when it comes to this connection in you, it's like they don't have any fight in them. They're not fighting, they're not resisting, they're not going against the grain. They're, you see what I'm saying? And so it's like they'll go along with it if it feels like it's in flow, okay? But for some reason, there could be something with your guys' connection where it goes against flow. That's why they're maintaining no contact. Now, that's not saying that they don't want to be with you or they don't want anything to do with you or anything like that. Again, I see them like taking their hands off of the wheel and just seeing where things take. But what they're saying is I'm not fighting against the current. Whatever. Let's see. Whatever that means. Let's see. Their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards Pile 2, please. Still holding a grudge. Okay. Someone here is still mad. Either that's them holding a grudge or they're wondering if you're still holding a grudge, okay? Your person's not wanting to fight. They're not wanting to argue. They want peace. They want flow. They want alignment. And for some reason, it's like they're, at least this point in time, they're maintaining no contact, meaning it's like, and I'll see where they're at in terms of if they have the desire to want to break contact, but they're, you see what I'm saying? But maybe not, because someone here is still holding a grudge. Someone here is mad, and they're still mad about something, whether that's you or them, okay? But that is affecting the energy between the two of you. Yeah, you should let me go. We also have your everything I've always wanted. I'm telling you, your person, okay, because we also have can we be friends, and it's showing up underneath still holding a grudge. And so your person, whoever is holding the grudge, it could be wanting to see, like, can we get over this grudge? Can we be friends? Can we at least be friendly, right? Not to say at this point in time that your person, that's all they want to be, is just friends, but there is kind of a thing like, you know, are you still mad? Are you too mad to be friends? Are you too mad to be friendly? Are you too mad to be cordial or anything like that? That might be why your person is maintaining no contact, is because, again, it's like they don't want to argue, they don't want to fight, they just want flow in their life right now, and that's all they want to be around, is just people where things are flow, right? This is just coming from them anyway. And then we have these, yeah, these skeletons are staying in my closet. Okay, so, you know, and then living single at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so yeah, you know, your person kind of is in this energy when it comes to the you and their connection with you, pile 2, where it's like, you know, they're not against, you know, maintaining contact, or maybe being friends with you, or having something more cordial, or maybe more laid back. But there's an energy here, I feel like it has something to do with, you know, still holding a grudge. Something about, you know, there's things about your person, pile 2, about maybe some beliefs they have, or maybe some, you know, they could be on the down low about a few things, about beliefs, about, I mean, even sexual orientation. There's just something about skeletons. These skeletons are staying in my closet. This is your person saying, like, you know, they'll go to a certain point with you in this connection, but there's a certain point they're not willing to go past, right? And with living single showing up at the bottom of the deck, you know, this is them saying, like, they don't mind the heavy situationship or friends with benefits, or just keeping it casual, lighthearted, not quite wanting maybe something more committed or more exclusive, specifically for reasons of, like, there's something about your person and either the way they think or the way they live life, or there's something about skeletons they're afraid of you finding out, or they want to keep those things hidden. Lifestyle choices is what's keep coming up. Your person just feels like they just do better off, like they're better off just staying single, being a bachelor or a bachelorette. And it's like, the way they're seeing things is that, you know, if you want something more than what they have given you up until this point, they are not the ones for you. Okay? And you know, if you've told them, you know, you want something more from this connection, and, you know, you're holding hard on that boundary, which good for you if you are, you know, you're staying true to yourself, they're saying they're not ready for that, or that's not what they want. And so they are maintaining the boundary that you have set in place, right? And they don't mind having you in their life. But your person is very closed off. They're just very closed off. I don't know if it's just trust issues, or I don't know. They're very closed off. There's things about themselves they don't want you to know about. There are parts of themselves in their lives they're just not interested in sharing at this point anyway. I'm not even really picking up on any kind of like hard feelings where your person's concerned. Yeah, we have your everything I've always wanted. Let me see what that has to do with your everything I've always wanted. In terms of what? This is almost giving you like it's not you, pile 2, it's me. It's giving me one of this, like your person saying, pile 2, it's not you. You're wonderful. You're perfect. You're everything that I've ever dreamt I've ever wanted. And for some reason there's just you know, it's weird. It's that thing where maybe, you know, you're full, you know, you went and filled up on, you know, snacks and other things, and then somebody unexpectedly comes around with, like, you know, the best dinner ever, and it's like, this tastes so good. It's cooked exactly the way I want it. It's everything I could have ever wanted, and I don't have the space for it. I don't have room for it. It's like, I want it, I just don't have room for it, you know. And it would almost like I have to force myself you know, and all the implications that come with that. It's kind of that energy, right? With your everything I've always wanted, but there's too much. Your person is too full of something, okay? It's kind of not the same vibe, but there is a similar message coming through for you guys. Pile one, it's almost like, you know, yeah, you could be the right person, but it's just not the right time. It's like if they were wanting that with somebody, you would be the one they would have it with, but they don't want it. They don't want exclusivity. They don't want, or there's something about, again, it's this, whatever the skeletons are. Let me find out what that is, because that's where they keep, like, there's something about this, okay? The skeletons that your person, you know, has in their closet that they're not wanting you to find out about, okay? For some of you, it could be having something to do with, like, their lifestyle sexually. And that could be why they're choosing to live single, right? I'm picking up they're on the down low about something. I don't know what it is, though. This is very specific, okay? For some of you, your person is on the down low about what their sexual orientation is, truly is. Or they're on the down low, it's got something to do with sexual orientation. Could be an addiction. It could be an actual person that has come back into your person's life, or they leave the door open for somebody. Yeah, okay. Couple of things okay. For some of you, it is like you know, your person may not have been completely 100% honest and upfront with you about their sexual preferences, okay? Doesn't necessarily mean, like, you know, if you're somebody who is straight and that means, you know, oh, your person's bi, they like men and women or whatever. It doesn't have to be that. It can be that for some of you, okay? This could also just be, you know, your person might have some kinks, or they might have some fetishes. They could be somewhat reckless when it comes to their sexuality, or just something like that. And this feels like something that, you know, it comes and goes. It's not something, especially with the Eight of Cups showing up in the reverse, it's not something that's always there, but it's almost like, you know, when it does present itself, I want the freedom to be able to indulge in that. It's something like that, okay? Again, and it can be an actual person, you know, that maybe your person leaves the light on for, proverbially speaking, or metaphorically speaking, right? Tell me more about these skeletons are staying in my closet. Yeah, Knight of Cups in the reverse. It's not necessarily anything romantic. It is not necessarily anything love-based. I feel like for many of you, something going on with your person's sexual life, sexual preferences, and there's shame in that. Like, there's almost embarrassment, like, you know, it may not always just be shame and embarrassment. I'm not really picking up too much on your person having a lot of regrets here. It's just one of those things where they're like, you know, you're everything that I could have ever wanted, pile two, and there are some things about me that you don't know about, that if you were to know about them, you may not see me as somebody that you would not see me as everything you've always wanted, okay? For many of you, your person's got some secret sexual fetishes or kinks, or just a way of life that they're, you know, like, it just doesn't, it wouldn't mesh with you, right? Or your connection or something like that. Tell me about You Should Let Me Go. Oh, they're absolutely certain of that. Your person doesn't think that you would be happy with them long term. We got the King of Wands and the Sun showing up in the reverse. Heavy Leo energy coming through. Also Aries and Sagittarius. Your person knows they're not going to change. At least not anytime soon. They're just too happy just kind of going along with wherever life takes them. They don't seem to do too well with structure or expectation set by other people, you know. Your person may choose to just be a bachelor or a bachelorette because for them it's just easier that way. They're not responsible for anyone. They're not gonna, you know, break anyone's heart. Your person could just be somebody that prefers casual connections. Yeah, then can we be friends? Here's Sagittarius energy showing up again with Temperance in the reverse. This is almost like your person, like their thoughts and feelings when it comes to you. It's like they don't mind being friends. They don't mind staying friendly if, you know, if you would agree. They know that there's almost an energy here, though. They know that that's not what you want. They know that that's not ideal for you. Again, energies can be flipped, right? This is just the information that's coming through. If it vibes more with your energy, then yeah, just however it fits, right? Tell me more about still holding a grudge. Aw. Nine of Wands in the upright position, yeah. Someone here does have a tendency to hold on to a grudge so much that it's actually hurting them. It's doing more. And sometimes people can do that. People, you know, without even recognizing or realizing it, can hold a grudge and hold anger because that's the only way they know how to protect themselves or to keep themselves safe from what they fear could be more hurt, right? And so this is almost an energy of like, your person they're not necessarily wanting to give up on the connection, but what they don't want is they don't want to suffer more hurt. Whether that's, you know, you maybe lashing out at them for something that they've done, or maybe, you know, them lashing out at you for something that you've done. There is an energy here, though. This grudge is still active. It still hasn't been processed and let go of yet. This may not even be a grudge that they're holding against you. This could be a grudge that they're holding against someone else, and it's affecting your guys' connection. Is this from... No, it's not. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were... Okay. So this could be more on the specific side, but this feels like a grudge that your person has, maybe just against love in general, not wanting to be heartbroken. This is why they're deciding to maintain a lifestyle of being a bachelor or a bachelorette or just living single. And so, like, it's not, you know, it's not going to break any person's heart if they aren't setting up expectations or getting themselves into, you know, exclusive and or monogamous, you know, relationships with you or anybody else. They're not going to step on anyone's toes. It's almost like they're doing this by design. This is why they're saying we have river here with movement. They're just kind of going wherever the flow takes them. But what they don't want to do, they don't want to fight. They don't want broken hearts. They don't want anything like that. And so that's just your way, your person's way of, that's just how they're doing life, right? And, you know, with still holding a grudge, there's a lot of different energies and messages coming through with that. It's like, yeah, they could be holding a grudge against, like, you know, commitments in general, marriage in general, love in general, and stuff like that. And it could just be a thing where it's like, I don't want to hurt anybody. I want everyone, you know, with the Three of Swords showing up in the reverse, that's healing, right? But the fact that we do have that showing up in the reverse when I was asking the question if this was, you know, a grudge from your guys' connection or did it predate this connection, it's saying it predates this connection. Okay, it's not anything necessarily that you've done, but your person does kind of hold a grudge just against like relationships itself. They hold a grudge against, you know, causing restriction, feeling limited and stuff like that. They don't like that, okay? Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense too with this river energy here. They just want to go with the flow, okay? The minute things start to feel like we're going against the flow, to, you know, it's taking too much energy to try to make things work, they duck out and they go somewhere else. All right. Anything else? You're everything I've always wanted. Tell me about that. Let's see. Tell me about the Nine of Cups showing up in the reverse. Yeah, it's coming through like, you know, because we got the Ten of Pentacles clarifying the Nine of Cups in the reverse. If they wanted something exclusive and something monogamous, you would be the one they would have it with. The thing here though is they don't want it. They don't want monogamy. They don't want a commitment. They don't want anything serious. Right? You know, it's like, yeah, if I had to pick and choose, that's exactly what I would want, but that's not, you know, if I were in the market to buy a car, you know, pile 2 would be the car that I would buy, but I'm not in the market for a car. I hope that makes sense, right? It's just they're not in the market for that. That's the only other way I know how to put it. Anything else? Yeah, there's just very much a wait and see energy where your person is concerned. You know, they're just kind of waiting, seeing how things naturally unfold. You know, is this going to go with the flow, or is it going to cause too much, you know, friction or conflict or chaos in my life? And that's pretty much where they're at. You know, pile 2, I mean, if you're okay with being friends with this person, if you're okay with, you know, just kind of keeping things casual, not being your person's, you know, one and only with living single here, you know, they're down for that. And, you know, and on the flip side of that, it's like if you're going to require something from them that would make them feel like they have to be, you know, held responsible, you know, you're set, you know, because connections set up expectations, right? And that's just kind of where your person's at. It's like, I don't want that. I don't want to be anyone's boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't want to be anybody's spouse or anyone's significant other. I want to live single because that's just where I prefer to be. I'm not in the market to be anybody's, you know, significant other or spouse. I don't want that job, right? Now it is like if I were to want that job at some point in time, you know, pile 2 would be the one that I would, you know, look for. But that's just not where they're at, pile 2. All right. That was your guys' reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If you got from this reading what you came here for, do me a favor, smash the like button. It's a wonderful way to donate to the channel energetically. Comment below, let me know that you picked this pile, let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you have not already done so, simply by subscribing. And don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile 2, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye guys. Hello pile 3, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, or if you're new to the channel I should say, welcome. My name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. We're tapping in and channeling through your person's real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards you and about their connection with you. So just keep in mind, you guys, it's a collective general love reading. Whatever resonates, you can do whatever you want with it. Claim it if it's something you want to claim. If something isn't quite resonating or it's not landing, just drop that bit of information or that message and leave it behind for whomever it is resonating with. I do have personal readings available if you would like for me to exclusively tap into you and your person's connection. Just check the description box below. All the booking details are there. There's a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25. So go see which ones fit your guys' needs, okay? You guys were drawn to the Petrified Wood. We're going to get to your guys' reading now. I'm going to say I'm a bit distracted in your guys' reading. I don't know if that's energy that I'm tapping into or what the case may be. Let's see. Your person's overall energy. We have full moon and completion. So something's wrapping up, and this is your person's overall mood and energy. So they're done with something, okay? They could be done with a specific kind of a dynamic. They could be done with you, you know. And then their overall focus here, we have strings. It's in the upright position, so it's like no strings attached, okay? We're going to see the direction that this is going in. Their focus is on being detached. Maybe dissolving, you know, quote unquote strings between the two of you. You know, this could be talking about a breakup. It could be talking about wanting to go in a different direction now, whether or not it's going to be with you in a whole different new dynamic or apart from you. We're going to see what's going on here. But with strings, your person's focus when it comes to you in this connection, there's a detachment here. Their focus is, they're detached, and maybe still desiring to detach further. Or if you guys have things in common, or if there is, what's the phrasing that's wanting to come through? If you guys have things in the 3D that are keeping you guys connected or keep you guys involved, like maybe wanting to remove whatever those attachments are. Like the examples I'm being given is like if you guys have like joint accounts, right? Like separating those accounts. If you guys, yeah, there's kind of a separation in energy here, wanting to separate things between the two of you. We'll see what direction that's going in. Pile three's person, I just saw, I'm afraid it won't work out at the bottom of the deck. And then there's also holding the grudge, okay? Not the best of energies so far, but we'll see. Pile three's person, their overall, or their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile three at this point in time. Their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile three and their connection with pile three at this time. They could be just trying to keep busy. Oh, I want to marry you. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. What else is here? No, that's way too much. Not for the foreseeable future. Okay. Man. This is coming out favoring the side, can we be friends? But they are wanting me to note, you know, it's one of those things where I'm almost feeling like your person is wanting to keep the door between you two open. The fact that they are opening up this message with I want to marry you. But we also have not for the foreseeable future and can we be friends. There's almost like this acknowledgement that things at this point in time, for whatever reason, things are not in alignment for the two of you to be together. There could be some things that we do have completion and strings. So this is largely carrying the energy of like, you know, something between the two of you has wrapped up. This could be a breakup situation, a separation situation. You know, and with strings unattached, I mean, this could be your person's desire to want to remain unattached, okay? This almost feels like your person trying to not hyper fixate on you and the connection at this point in time for some reason. You know, with not for the foreseeable future, your person could just be dealing with some things right now in their life that for whatever reason are impacting their ability to have something with you. You know, third party interference, whatever that third party might be, whether it's work, friendship, peer groups, you know, another romantic connection or something like that. Let's get a few more. Wound mates, you guys triggered the F out of each other. Yeah, and then that came out with you stressed the F out. You stressed me the F out. I'm actually going to keep that as one message. Let's get a couple more. No regrets. So what I'm being shown is that you guys may have had a really tumultuous, they're saying highly flammable. So they, y'all's triggers were hairpin triggers. It didn't, at least it got to that point. Like it just got to a point between the two of you where it didn't take a lot at all to, you know, disturb the peace between the two of you. You guys could have easily, very easily fallen into chaos, conflict. I'm hearing competition. Okay, this is favoring the side that says we aren't right for each other, but again, they're wanting me to note that we belong together. It's like, you know, we're not right for each other right now. The way things are right now, there's just no way for us to be together, pile 3. There's too many moving and working parts, maybe at least on one side of the equation, whether it's you or them, but there's something they're saying it doesn't fundamentally work. Something is not fundamentally working, even though you are the one they want to marry. You are the one they want to be with. There could be some fundamental core differences between the two of you, or just something going on in their life and or in your life that makes the two of you having something, you know, more serious, more regular, more committed, more whatever, like makes that very difficult to achieve. At the bottom of the deck we have, please be patient, I wasn't ready or prepared for this kind of love. Your person, you know, could have fumbled things, didn't know how to act. You know, trial and error, but you know, the trial and errors, a lot of them could have been what felt like catastrophic. You know, their true thoughts and feelings, pile 3, when it comes to in this connection, you guys triggered each other. You guys stressed each other out, something fierce, okay? And not for the foreseeable future, they're telling me that has something to do with not wanting to continue that pattern. They want that to be done. They want this, the wound mates, and you stress me the F out. They want that energy to be done, right? There may have been some transgressions that happened here that maybe are difficult for you to forgive or you to swallow, which you don't ever have to swallow anything, right? Let me see what's going on with, let me look at not for the foreseeable future. Yeah, with strings unattached, and this is giving me the vibe, pile 3, your person saying like we need to go our separate ways, at least for now. With full moon and string and no strings attached. You know, wanting to part ways and wanting you to know, right? Like the first thing they're saying as we open up the reading, I want to marry you. And even so, things are really bad, or they're not getting, like, something here. I don't know if there's healing that needs to happen, and that healing can only happen like individually, if there needs some time that needs to pass, if someone here in this connection feels like they need to like even out the playing field or something. What's not for the foreseeable future? Pile 3's person, their real, true, honest thoughts and feelings towards pile 3. Yeah, look at that. The 5 of Swords showing up in the reverse. Yeah. They're only interested in connections, you know, and it could be too, your person may be feeling like they're just overall, I don't know. There's different messages coming through. For some of you, your person, they could be in this headspace where they already have to deal with a lot of chaos and conflict in their life, and they just don't want any connections to add on top of it. And they could just be exclusively talking about your guys' connection. A lot of drama, right? And with the 5 of Swords showing up in the reverse, clarifying not for the foreseeable future, this is your person kind of having a difficult time really being able to visualize a future with you in it that doesn't include drama. Although that is what they want, right? They don't want to marry drama, right? They do want to marry you, but it's like they don't want the drama that seems to follow your guys' connection. Tell me about, can we be friends? Oh, yeah, that's not really what they want, okay? We got the Devil showing up in the reverse. I can't, well, I mean, I guess I can show you like that. The Devil showing up in the reverse. It's not really what they want. It's kind of like, you know, if that's all that's available, I'll take it. And in this context, like, can we be friends? That means, like, really, even if it's platonic, right? Like, genuinely, can we be friends? Can we at least be friendly? Right? But your person also at the same time, that's not the extent. They do want more than that with you. Oh, okay. They're saying they wonder whether or not, pile 3, the two of you would be better off as friends, if you guys would have a better relationship with each other if you were just friends. I mean, sometimes that happens, you know. A lot of times married people or people who were in long-term relationships, you know, that later on became friends will say, yeah, we're so much more, we get along so much better as friends than we ever did as, you know, husband and wife, lovers, significant others, spouses, whatever the case may be. But they are interested in you more than that. They're still attracted to you. They still love you, right? If you are someone that was married to this person, or you had some kind of a long-term commitment with them, lived with them, have a family with them, they're still interested in that dynamic. And they're also tired of the drama, tired of the fighting, tired of the constant bickering and nagging and battles and stuff like that. You know, no matter, you know, who is saying or doing what. I'm not seeing them point the finger like exclusively at you. With wound mates and you stress me the F out, that's energy that goes both ways, right? You know, they could be doing something or saying something that triggers you, and it just kind of sets off like a chain reaction, and vice versa. Tell me about no regrets. Oh yeah, and then we aren't right for each other showing up underneath, can we be friends? It's kind of that, again, that's bringing me back to that feeling like maybe we would get along and be better off as friends, especially if you guys are in a co-parenting situation, like trying to figure out a way to actually get along, right? Trying to figure out a way, because when I think about people like friendships, it doesn't matter, you know, in romantic connections, if you're married, if you're living together, there also needs to be a really solid, you got to like that person, right? There has to be a solid foundation of friendship. And that's what's missing in a lot of people's connections and relationships with, you know, spouses and significant others and stuff, because, you know, it's like the foundation wasn't built on friendship, it was built on attachment, okay? Meaning like insecure attachment, you know, it was built on, you know, I want to be married because if I'm not married, then I'm not anybody special. It's something like that, right? Doesn't have to be exactly that. Or it's built on, you know, I need you to validate me, or, you know, I need you to fill me up inside because without you, I'm empty. Those are all like really toxic foundations to build connections on. And so, with we aren't right for each other showing up underneath, can we be friends? This is your person. I don't know if they're actively clocking it, but there is this thing that's like, they're like, can we even get along? Let's see if there's a way for us to even be friendly. Heavy on, again, this is more on the specific side. So if this doesn't resonate with you, just hold on, okay? Heavy on like two people maybe needing to co-parent, or two people having to share like either kids, having to share a business, having to share like a friend group or something like that. And there's kind of this energy like, well, you're going to be in my life anyway. Is there a way that we can figure out, how can we get along? How can we be friends? If at the very least, how can we be friendly and cordial? Not necessarily like we have to be friends. You don't have to actually, be friends, but at least can we get along and be friendly, right? For those of you where it resonates that you've got kids with this person, or shared assets, or a shared business, or a friend group, or something. Otherwise, this is your person saying, it's not exclusively what I want, and I'm willing to give it a shot. But I am saying there is a little bit, it's not the strongest of energies, but I am picking up on a little bit of an ulterior motive, like wanting to keep the lines of communication, wanting to try and build a friendship between the two of you as maybe a way to like leave that door open. So maybe later on down the line, the two of you can come together, okay? Not the strongest of energies, so that's not going to resonate with all of you. Let's see. But we aren't right for each other being clarified by the Two of Swords in the reverse and the Three of Wands in the reverse. This is something that maybe your person felt like the two of you, like there's an, I don't know if this is an understanding or an acknowledgement, but your person is kind of recognizing like, this may have been on their radar for a while. There may have been some fundamental differences between you and your person that just weren't that weren't conducive to long-term commitment. Some fundamental differences, like, yeah, it's like your person, it's weird because they're in a space where it's like, I want to marry you, but I'm also seeing where we have some fundamental differences between the two of us where it wouldn't, like, it's weird. And that might be because that can happen often. If you fall in love with somebody because, God, how do I do this? Okay, here's an example of what I'm being shown is, one or two people, right, entering into a relationship before the wrong reasons. And a lot of people don't understand or even clocking that they're doing this. So if this is resonating, try not to feel bad, okay? We've all done it. But rather than getting into a relationship with someone, because, you're already feeling fulfilled, you're already feeling happy, you're already just on top of the world, and then you meet someone else that kind of matches that vibe, and, you guys are, sharing full overflowing cups between each other, right? What a lot of people do is they get into connections with people and then are looking to that connection and that person to fill up some kind of a void. Okay? And in the very beginning of a lot of these connections, people are just operating off of masks, and people end up falling in love with the mask and not the whole person. And so this feels like what your person clocked here with we aren't right for each other. With the Two of Swords in the reverse and the Three of Wands in the reverse. It's like, them really kind of looking back and looking at things and really kind of taking an inventory of your guys' connection and being like, yeah, I knew, like, kind of like noticing the red flags, you know, but maybe minimizing them or making them out to be something far less impactful than what it really was, right? Now your person is like, okay, once they saw the red flags, you know, or once they saw the incompatibilities, the fundamental core incompatibilities, it's like they can't, you know, they can't see anything past that. It's like they're no longer, before they used to block it out because they didn't want to rock the boat, right? Meaning like the red flags or the incompatibilities. Now they see them. And now they're like, these aren't things that can just be swept up underneath the rug, obviously, because what they're seeing is like how these incompatibilities keep perpetuating the same arguments and the same drama and the same conflict between the two of you. And now with the Three of Wands in the reverse, it's like I can't see a future in this anymore because we aren't right for each other fundamentally. And this is almost something that they're acknowledging that maybe both of you guys had done, right? Not, you know, you guys didn't really fall in love with each other. You fell in love with the fantasy. You fell in love with the potential and not the actual person, okay? And so, you know, and people do change often, right? A lot of the times who we believe ourselves to be is just really kind of who we've become as a result of always being in like survival mode. A lot of us don't even know who we truly are. You know, once we've regulated our nervous systems and once we've learned how to, you know, clear out abandonment wounds and dissolve attachment issues, a lot of us have no actual clue who we are, right? And that's kind of where I feel like this is going. Your person isn't necessarily, because again, we have can we be friends here, but your person is also noting that's not exclusively just what they want to be, but it's like they understand that's probably where things need to start. So there is kind of your person is wondering whether or not some of these fundamental differences can be at some point, you know, they can work themselves out, whatever those fundamental differences are. In other words, pile 3, they're not necessarily counting you and this connection out. This feels more like not for now, right? They're not saying never, but they're saying not now. Tell me more about strings. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're trying to, so with strings, they're literally trying to detach from you, okay? Mentally and emotionally, energetically, they're trying to separate themselves from you because they're really kind of clocking how maybe the two of you are bringing out the worst in each other because of this wound mate energy here. And unfortunately, well, it doesn't even have to be fortunately or unfortunately, but it is coming through in one of those situations, pile 3, that this is one of those things where the two of you are not going to be able to heal together. You heal individually in separation. You clear out all the wounding, you clear out all the emotional baggage and whatever trauma there might have been. You know, you learn how to regulate your own nervous system. That way you stay peaceful and grounded no matter what's happening in your, you know, you're in the world or in your 3D reality. You know, and then, you know, when you guys clear through everything that was causing pain, then it's like, let's see, maybe we can get back together and reintroduce ourselves to each other, because it's like you have two wounded people trying to make a connection work, and that's just not how it works, right? You have one wounded person and then another wounded person, and with wound mates and you stress me the F out, it's just back and forth, you know, back and forth, just trigger, you know. I mean, it's not even doing it on purpose. It's just, you know, that's just what happens. You know, if you're running around with existing wounding, that's the lens that you see everything through. That's the filter that everything gets translated through. And so your person could just be breathing the wrong way, and you're like, you got an attitude with me? You know what I mean? And I don't mean to make light of a situation. I'm laughing because, I was very much kind of in that boat at one point in time. The triggers between me and my ex got it was just a hair fine, what do they call that? A hair fine trigger. It didn't take much at all to trigger either one of us. And it's just one of those, I always had this thing in my head, like, he's thinking a certain way, he must be doing this, must be doing that, blah blah blah. And it was really just a lot of pain within me, where my nervous system was keeping me on high alert, making sure that I didn't get hurt again. But what I didn't understand was that that was creating more pain for both of us to have to get over. And so when I would lash out, it would cause him to want to lash out, and it was just a never-ending vicious cycle. And so something very similar feels like it might be happening here for you guys. And as your person is like, let's separate, let's go our separate ways, see if we can work on building a foundation between the two of us where we're genuinely friends, right? Really, like where we can honestly get along. Do some healing in the interim, and then maybe later on down the line, and it's a big if, right? And I'm seeing a big question mark too. It's a big if, our paths cross in that way, maybe we can give it another go, right? But they're saying the way things are now between the two of you, who you guys are individually, but I feel like they're pointing to the pain, the wounding. You guys are wound mates. You guys are expressing, your guys' connection is being steered by wounds rather than, love. It's being steered by fear and by doubt and stuff like that. And so your person is saying, in this condition, unless things change, there's no way we're going to be able to be together. I'm working. Let's see. Yeah, and then we have the King of Swords in the reverse with the please be patient. I wasn't ready or prepared for this kind of love. With the King of Swords in the reverse, like, this almost feels like your person was almost on guard against it. Your person could have a problem with being vulnerable, pile 3. They could have a problem with intimacy, not sex, but like opening themselves up and letting other people in and really trusting and stuff like that. They could be very head over heart. They could also be somebody that has a very difficult time thinking of anyone or putting anyone above themselves. They just caught me though. What? Hold on. It's not coming from it's not because, okay, so you may have thought this person to be narcissistic or maybe heavy on the narcissistic tendencies, but, and again, you guys are going to know whether or not this is true, okay? The most energy that's coming up that I'm hearing right now is that they may have presented as being somebody very selfish, very self-centered, very out for themselves. But then they caught me because they wanted me to tell you so that you can understand where that was coming from. Because again, we're talking about please be patient. I wasn't ready or prepared for this kind of love. They had a very sharp tongue, and they just didn't. They could be very mean, very, very mean, very self-centered, very judgmental, very critical. But there's a reason why they're like that. And it's not coming from a place of like, narcissism and stuff like that. For the vast majority of you, it's coming from a very deeply wounded space. And okay, and they're saying like a lot of and I don't know if they even are consciously clocking, I'm hearing this in their energy, that they hurt people before those people can hurt them. What do they call that? A preemptive strike, right? Is that what it's called? A preemptive strike? And so, yeah, they're telling me they have a really difficult time they have some really deep trust issues. They'll be okay up to a certain point, and then when they feel like any kind of fear or anything gets triggered or activated within their nervous system, their way of keeping themselves safe is by lashing out. Okay, your person does have like an abandonment wound also, and or attachment wounding issues as well. Excuse me. Oh yeah. That they do not feel comfortable letting you know about. And that's how, yeah, they could be very much kind of like a control freak. It's weird. It's like, I don't feel like they're doing this to me on purpose. I almost feel, this is them being vulnerable, right? They're being vulnerable and letting you in, and letting you know why they are the way that they are, but they still have that, safety, that kill switch, that mechanism that's like, nope, right? That's getting too real. That's getting too raw. That's exposing me too much. And, you know, that wounded pride, that egoic gatekeeper is like, no. And right, it's one of those things that, you know, your person is needing to heal whatever's causing that, you know. And so they're letting you know, yeah, I mean, they could have been the person that got this crazy town carousel thing, like, you know, they could have been the one that started it all, right? But because they have wounds and then you had wounds, it's like they you know, poured the gasoline and maybe lit the fire, you know, and then you kind of did the same out of your own wounding and stuff. And so, yeah, holy crap. Anything else? And then we will end your reading. Queen of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, it's the second time that's come out. You know, they want you to understand and recognize, pile 3, that what this connection was doing to you, how it was bringing out the worst in you, and the worst in them as well. You guys were bringing out the worst, the absolute worst in each other, and they're saying, as much as they love you and as much as they want to be with you and as much as they even want to marry you, logically and common sense, they're saying it would not have worked out because of this wound energy, okay? Because of unresolved trauma, unprocessed emotional baggage, that is, you know, wreaking havoc in your guys' you know, central nervous systems. And because up until this point, you guys haven't had any real way of learning how to self-soothe. It was just a lot of lashing out, right? But I am picking up that your person was more the external for the most part. You know, you may have internalized quite a bit, but yeah, they are acknowledging their part in all of this is what they're saying, pile 3, okay? And we're gonna, oh my goodness. I tapped into something that I shouldn't say they, again, I'm not picking up on your person having any ill or malicious intent. What it is it's the mechanism within them that, even though, you know, it's programmed, it's there to keep them safe, right? It's doing it in a way that actually isn't conducive to them being able to have a peaceful long-term commitment with you. And if it helps you at all, pile 3, that, you know, this isn't something they're going to be able to just go to a different partner and then everything's going to be fine over there. Until that wounding and those attachment issues get resolved, it's just going to be the same dynamic with a whole different person, maybe in a different way and maybe even to different degrees and intensities. But these issues are here, rather, you know, your person's wounds are there regardless of who might be around to trigger what. All right, you guys. All right, I will talk to you guys again soon. If this resonated, do me a favor, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below, let me know that you picked this pile, let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family if you haven't already done so, simply by subscribing. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And pile 3, I'll see you guys at your next pick a card love reading. Bye guys.